I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. So it is Tuesday right now and I'm about to finish a video, but I can't drop this video before I record and edit and drop this video because otherwise the other video will make no sense. So here I am with my notes and I'm gonna try to tell you my story right now. I just find that it's a little bit confusing and maybe I do owe it to you as well to just explain everything, lay it out how I ended up eating the way I'm eating right now, because I was gone for like half a year here on YouTube and I've been eating very specifically macro-based for a while, and then I also had a time where I did a lot of vegan eating, right, on the whole food plant-based diet. So here I'm gonna try to sum it all up in one video. Wish me luck. Starting with how I grew up. So I grew up in Germany. My parents, they are the best parents ever, and they were amazing role models to me. When it came to food and food freedom, all my childhood I could eat whatever I want to, whenever I want to, really, I think. At least that's how I remember it. But my parents did eat very healthily. So my mom especially, I think she even studied nutrition in school, so she knew about nutrition and she did always cook very healthy, very lean, lots of greens, lots of vegetables. I grew up that way, but my parents are also from Poland, so I have Polish roots in my genes, and we did eat a lot of meat and a lot of bread, and I still love both of those foods very much. And we did have a lot of treats, a lot of desserts. When I grew up, I remember I had a time where I was quite lean, but most of the time I think I was a very healthy baby, more on the healthier side, and I loved it. Then in 2014, I was, 16 years old. I went to San Diego for 4 weeks as an exchange. I came back and I gained a little bit of weight. That is actually the first time I remember that my mom mentioned it even to me, that I might want to check what or how much or how often I eat, right? So that's the first moment I remember where I got interested in nutrition. And soon after that, my mom helped me sign up to a gym. No, my mom and my dad. Want to give credit to both of them. And that's when my love for the gym and for healthy eating and nutrition started. I started researching a lot and I found calorie counting in a healthy way for myself. So I really researched what micronutrients are in what food, but I also remember that I was very keen on getting enough protein in. Around that time, I remember the lowest I ever got with my calories was 1700. So all super healthy still, right? And I remember I always tried to have around around 50 grams of fat and then around 150 to 160 grams of protein. Rest was carbs, usually around the 200 gram mark. And I started going to the gym very much, and I found my love for bodybuilding, the sport of bodybuilding. I started following a lot of bodybuilders, also female bodybuilders, so especially the bikini category in bodybuilding was really, really interested to me, and it stayed like that for years. Fast forward 2016, I came to the US as an au pair, still loved working out and fitness, and I still remember that the first couple of weeks here I was super concerned because I didn't know if I will be able to stick to my macros, you know, those kinds of thoughts I had. And I always saw my relationship with food and also with working out as very healthy. I wanted to work out and eat because I wanted to fuel myself and also grow muscle. So my dream physique was not the model physique, but the bodybuilding bikini physique. So I think that was very healthy, and I also never thought negative about the sport or my food. Yeah, so that was 2016 when I came here, and probably like 2 more years. I did go through cycles of building and cutting and building and cutting. And with my first actual like cut, I think I came down to like 135, so not as much. A year later, I did another cut, and there I dropped a lot. I personally don't remember that time, honestly. I think when I look at myself, I always look the way I look right now. Like, I didn't really see me 10 pounds heavier or 20 pounds lighter. But apparently, when I got married 2016, so 2018. 2016 I came to the US. 2017 I did my second proper diet, and then 2018 we got married and I was 125 pounds. So somewhere in between that time I lost, what, 15 pounds. And I don't really, I still remember like the numbers. I did YouTube videos during that time, but I don't remember having looked that differently. Now when I look back on pictures, I think I look like a completely different person and super young, honestly. So that was that time, right? Moving forward to 2019 now. So in 2019, I found the whole food plant-based diet for myself. The reason for that is because I think I had a little bit more time on my hands and started researching and just wanted to get my body to the healthiest stage possible. So I researched a lot about the vegan diet, but especially the clean vegan diet. So whole food, plant-based. My biggest inspo during that time was Dr. Michael Greger. He has a whole website full of nutrition facts. He does YouTube videos a lot and he's also an author. And his book, How Not to Diet, was my Bible during that time. My second Bible, I want to say. There's only one Bible. Anyway, so I read it very interestingly, but I still remember that there was a part of about fasting, how he also promoted fasting and how it's healthy and good for you. And I was like, no, I'm not even gonna read through that because I know that's not for me. And now looking back, I also am aware now that I was still never really satisfied, which was the reason why I wanted to transition to the vegan diet, the whole food diet from macro counting, because I never really felt super satisfied and I just wanted to get to that point where I can eat freely without worrying about calories, about eating too much or too little or gaining weight or losing weight. That's why I transitioned over to the whole food plant-based diet, but I also don't remember a time where I didn't count calories or macros during that time. I still think I counted pretty much every day. I did always eat around the 1800 calorie mark, I think, 1800, sometimes 2000, sometimes maybe 1700, around that mark. And my weight around that time was around 132 to 135 pounds. So I ate more than before because during my lightest time, I remember the littlest I ate was probably like 1300 calories, but then more averaging on like 15 to 1600. Now I ate a little more, but I was still never really satisfied, I think. I don't know why I stopped or how I stopped, but I transitioned back to just eating more variety again, also more meat and dairy product. I probably just craved meat. So I included that again and went strictly to macro counting again. Now COVID hit. I remember during COVID I did a lot of whole food plant-based diet as well. Transitioned over to normal eating. I did walk a lot during COVID, I remember, and I also did start a little bit of intermittent fasting where I started eating after 2 o'clock, but I was so hungry every morning, so I was white knuckling it every single day. But I also didn't clean fast. I remember I had like I had gum, a lot of gum, and I had like sweetened waters because I didn't know anything about it. Anyway, stopped doing intermittent fasting at that time and decided 2021, in the beginning of 2021, to do like a proper bulk to fix my metabolism and my hormones, to let me eat just like in a surplus pretty much every single day so that my body can repair itself. So I did that. To mention, I have always been someone who eats 5, 6, 7 times a day. Smaller-ish meals, but all day. So I did that all 2021. And then January 2022, I had in mind since April 2021 already, I had in mind that in January, I'm gonna start a proper cut. Because now I had so much time to enjoy and indulge and eat. So now I have no excuse not to do a proper cut. So I started, right? I got my calories up to maybe 2100, right? Think about it again, I'm pretty tall, I'm 5'9". So I dropped my calories to maybe 1700 or 1800, nothing happened. So I dropped it further to 1500, maybe half a pound went down, until I was at 1300 and I lost a good like 2 pounds during that time. I started the cut on around 145-ish pounds after the building season of 7-8 months. And I lost 2 pounds within 3 months. That was not very encouraging. But now we will come to the fun part. I still remember the day vividly. Sometime end of March, beginning of April, I drove home from school and I put on a podcast by the Huberman Lab. And he talked about the science behind intermittent fasting and time-restricted eating. And the whole podcast was super science-based. So no, I feel like, or I think, or it looks like. It's more like, no, that's what your body does during that time, and that's why it might be helpful or healthy or not so healthy, right? And I listened to the whole thing. It was, I think, more than an hour for sure, maybe like 2 hours. And I loved every single second of it. So that's started me thinking about intermittent fasting properly for the first time in my life. And I started my intermittent fasting journey very easy. I started eating at like 9 a.m. and stopped at 8 p.m. instead of starting at 6 a.m. and stopping at 10 p.m. And then I just like shortened the window of my eating time a little bit. Next week or so, I started eating at 10 a.m. and stopped at 7 p.m. until I got to the point where right now I start eating between 11, 11:30 or 1 p.m. and I stop at 5 p.m. I do start my eating window usually, like that varies from day to day, but I do really try to stop eating by 5 p.m. I just feel better that way and I sleep better. So that's what really triggered me to look into intermittent fasting. During that time, I also found my current favorite podcast called the Intermittent Fasting Story Podcast, where Jen Stevens interviews a lot of different humans here on Earth who also found intermittent fasting for themselves. She also preaches the way of clean fasting. And yeah, I started doing that since March for a good month or two. And during my eating window, I really ate freely whatever I wanted, right? Pizza, pasta, bread, salads, meat, vegan, anything I wanted. And it was amazing. But again, I still remember the day, June 30th this year, I was over the fact that I was always bloated and always having some kind of digestion issues after I ate. I honestly, my gut, I always had a little bit of gut issues, but always after I eat, I do look a little bit pregnant. And I wanted to see if there's anything else I can do. So I started researching again. And I don't think I consciously researched that, but somehow I ended up on a video of Dr. Eric Berg, who is an advocate of healthy keto is the name. So ketogenic diet in a healthy way. So whole foods again. So not whole food plant-based, but whole food animal-based, I guess. So I started doing that, and next day I already felt amazing already with just sticking to the foods that he mentioned. I think he did like a meal plan video for starters if you want to see if that works for you, and then you of course figure it out for yourself what foods work and what don't. So I started that, felt amazing, but 2 weeks in I realized that now the big shakes, kale shakes and the big salads did make me feel funny. So after I had that, I always stand at work. I have a standing desk. And after my kale salad or kale shake, I couldn't really stand anymore. My stomach just felt funny and again bloated a little bit, so I wanted to sit down always. First, I didn't think about it. Afterwards, I was like, maybe that's something I can still fix. And again, not knowing how, I ended up on Dr. Barry's, Dr. I think Kent Berry is his name, on his YouTube channel, and his wonderful wife Nisha, and they do a lot of day in the life videos, but also a lot of Q&A videos and interviews as well. And that's where I heard about the Carnivore way of eating for the first time, how vegetables might actually harm you in a certain phase of your life when your body needs time to heal. And that it might be a good idea to, for once, just try to not rely on vegetables too much. If you make sure that you eat proper nutrition the rest of the time, which means grass-fed, pasture-raised, whole food still, right? I can't explain it as well as those people. So I will link anything that I mention here, I'll try at least, in the description if you want to check it out. Anyway, you never know until you try. So I started trying that, and that's where I'm right now. So I'm doing the carnivore way of eating right now, and I'm not gonna eat like that forever. But for now, it works amazing. What blows my mind is that I don't have any cravings. To be honest, I don't remember the last time I ate chocolate. Might have been on my birthday. But that's just mind-blowing to me because I love chocolate. There's nothing I love more than chocolate. And I really don't need it right now, I think, at least. The only thing I crave every now and then is some like creamy cheesecake or ice cream, which I can make myself easily, especially on Saturdays. But anyway, that's not the point. I feel amazing right now, and I'll just continue doing that for a few more weeks maybe. And then I'm gonna eat bread again. I love my bread and meat. I'm from Poland. I like my sausage and my pierogi and my buchte and all those delicious foods. I'm not going to restrict myself anything, but for now, I just feel better that way. And I'll just ride the wave until I feel like I need to switch or change or loosen something, right? Lastly, I also wanted to mention that since March, it's not about the weight at all. I do not care less about my weight right now. The only thing I care about is that I want to become the healthiest, most nourished, and efficient, effective, productive version of myself. And right now that means for me to eat this certain way. I also believe that every body has a different way of eating for his or her optimal health. So for some people it might be vegan, for some people it might be carnivore, for some people it might be something in between. Some people might not have to try anything and they just thrive on the standard American diet, which I don't really think that's possible, but maybe you are that lucky one, okay? So anyway, that was just the story of my life so far when it comes to nutrition. There's so much more than nutrition, but yeah, that's the nutrition. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that cleared the air a little bit and explains how I ended up where I am right now. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be a what I eat in a week. So that's gonna be fun. See you soon. Bye.